onto the trailer now. First thing I want to look is I want to make sure I have 3 feet from the back of the cab to the front of the trailer. You want to make sure that you have 0 gap between the apron of the trailer and the fifth wheel plate. Right in there will be no gap. If there's a gap, that's considered a high hook. You'll have to unhook and rehook. Also, you're going to come back here, make sure from the back of the truck to the leg of the landing gear, you have 3 feet also. 303. All right, back up to the front of the trailer again. If I didn't state it, I will say it again. I'm looking at all the lights on my trailer. I want to make sure that they are a proper color and they are clean. First thing I'm going to do after the lights is I'm going to talk about my apron. The apron starts here, comes back to about right here where the rivets change. It's a big piece of heavy steel underneath there. It is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. All nuts and bolts are present and tight. What is special about the apron? You want to make sure there is no damage up front here. You also, when you're unhooked from the trailer and before you hook up, you want to look, your kingpin is also hooked to the apron. You want to make sure that your kingpin is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. All nuts and bolts are present and tight. What is special about the kingpin? When you are hooked to the trailer, you want to make sure that your locking jaws of your fifth wheel are around the shank of the kingpin. How do you check that? One way is you look right here. If there is a gap, you are not around the shank of the kingpin. Also, you can walk back here. You can look up from the back here, look up in the gap right there, and look to make sure that your locking jaws are around the shank of the kingpin. As I'm standing on the side, something I got to notice is my DOT reflective tape. My DOT reflective tape must be properly adhered to the side of the trailer, and it must be clean. Also, the frame, the cross members, and the floor of the trailer should be properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. All nuts and bolts are present and tight. You are going to check that as you walk down the side, the frame, and underneath the trailer and the side of the trailer. Moving back, we are going to come to our landing gear. Our landing gear consists of some parts: the foot, the leg, the cross members. Up here is your connecting rod and your connecting rod bolt at that end, connecting rod bolt here at this end. Also more cross members. Out here you have your crank handle, and in back here you have your gearbox. All those parts are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. All nuts and bolts are present and tight. What is special about those parts? You want to make sure that your foot has no debris on it. You also want to make sure that when you're hooked to the trailer, your leg is completely retracted. Okay? And also, if I didn't say it, your locking handle in the stored position. Okay? As we walk down the trailer, we are again looking underneath the trailer, up and down the side, looking at the frame, the floorboard, the cross members, up and down, till we get back here to our airlines. They're properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. All nuts and bolts are present tight. You want to make sure that these airlines are not leaking. They're made out of rubber, so no cuts or dry rot, and also should be about 18 inches off the ground. Coming down here, we're going to talk about this whole thing with our dual tires right here. It's called your cradle system. Your cradle system will move back and forth. You can move your cradle system back and forth. Some parts we have to go over. We are going to talk about the slide rail of the cradle system. So this is your slide rail. Then you have your slide rail locking pin, one here, one way down there. And then you have the frame of the cradle system and the locking handle. Those are all properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. All nuts and bolts are present tight. What is special? The locking handle in the locked position, and also the pin in the locked position. And as I'm standing here again, I'm going to look down at my frame, my leaf springs, my brakes, my tires, my wheels, to make sure that those are all good. Coming down again, up and down the side, underneath. If we had an ABS trailer with anti-lock brakes on it, there would be a light in this general area. I would have to talk about that. It would just come on and go off within a decent amount of time. Coming around the back. Once we're on the back of the trailer, we got to state our lights again to make sure that all our lights are of proper color and are clean. Also, we're going to talk about our DOT reflective tape. Just like on the side of the trailer, the DOT reflective tape needs to be properly adhered to the truck, and it needs to be clean. All right, I can stand here for a couple minutes, decide if I missed anything. I can go back up and I can pick something up if I missed it. If I feel confident I got everything I needed to do, I can walk over here to this side of the truck, the right side, and I can say I would check this side of the vehicle the exact same way as I check the driver's side of the vehicle.